Well, thanks and welcome to the 6:15 News with me, Kejang Henry Athimbe. Let's begin with our top stories. Dissident militants flushed out of the Social Democratic Front for anti-party behavior. The unexpected decision fell like a bombshell at the February 26 National Executive Committee meeting that took place in Yaoundé, presided over by the National Chairman Nijan Fundi. And horror at the foot of Mount Cameroon following 3 explosions on the race course last Saturday. 24 persons were injured when separatists detonated an improvised explosive device. Fab stories.
Canal International. Canal International.
On our social media handle on Facebook and YouTube, I'm Kejang Henry Athimbe. Thanking you for being there with us. The National Executive Committee of the Social Democratic Front has flushed over 34 militants of the party for anti-party activities. The decision was taken at the National Executive Committee meeting on Saturday, February 25. We have the details.
The verdict of the National Executive Committee of the Social Democratic Front landed like a bombshell this Saturday, February 25th, with the firing of some party big names like Jean-Michel Ninche, Awodumbaya, Denis Nkemlemo, Emmanuel Tonga, Jean Tumulu, former Secretary General, and 29 others for gross insubordination. They are sent out of the long-standing opposition party in application of Article 8.2, which stipulates auto-exclusion, and that members shall be dismissed from the SDF if they engage on activities likely to injure the reputation, interest, or discredit the party and its effectiveness. The recent tackles on the chairman, Nijan Fundi, is considered as a threat to the party.
They pretended that they had withdrawn the case from the full court where they had gone to, and then came back and reinstated the same case in the Fundi court. So we don't know what game they were up to. They have never been genuine. But however, we have only taken cognizance of the fact that they are no longer part of this, the party.
The different approaches taken by the G27 and others not appreciated by the NEC and regarded as total disrespect and a game of interest.
If they were NEC today, they could have presented their case. On several occasions, they had expressed that they wanted to meet the chairman and put before him their grievances. And the chairman accepted. And then the next problem was, venue. They will not want to go to the chairman's place. What nonsense. You want to come and meet. The chairman is like a father. Your children say they want to talk with you. I say, okay, come to the house. Then they turn around and say, no.
And one of the major decisions of the NEC meeting at the Aulezwa party headquarters in Yaoundé this weekend is also the scheduling of the SDF National Convention from July 25th this year.
Thanks very much, Hyacinth. Meantime, excluded members of the party who go by the self-styled appellation G27 say they will press on with the lawsuit, adding that they are unshaken by the decision of the National Executive Committee to fire them from the party. Our reporter Maureen D talked to some of these members who were fired from the party, and this is what she brought back as a report.
A spectacular exclusion of 34 bigwigs of the SDF party by the National Executive Committee. This has been described as regrettable, some wondering what will become of the SDF party without Awodumbaya, Robert Wafo, Jean-Michel Ninche, Kambiwa, and several others who have been working hard for the party.
They have been playing this role for decades now. So it will not be easy for the party to easily replace them. It will take time. So for the party, it's a great loss. For the party, it's a great loss. and the party will not take time in order to really build this type of members.
According to analysts, it is not the first of its kind that bigwigs of the opposition party are hit by Article 8.2.
It is not the first time that the SDS is slamming the 8.2 on some members. We quite believe that we have founding fathers like Siga, Sanga, many others who passed through the 8.2s.
Though there are fears the party might be plunged into an impasse, some analysts still believe there is possibility of a reconciliation, as the party has been described as a family.
The 34 will certainly see the administrative court. They will certainly take the matter forward, see the administrative court to denounce what happened to them.
I don't think the decision is final, because even the Constitution make provision for other avenues. I think they can avail themselves of an appeal to the convention of the party. Not only that, we have jurisprudence of cases, of like cases where NEC itself revisited the decision.
The party chairman, Ni John Fundi, is said to have taken the decision to protect the party's unity.
Well, Ambo Gladys reporting there. Sorry for that mix-up. Ambo Gladys was reporting there on the future of the party following the sacking of some dissident members of the Social Democratic Front. Meantime, some of the excluded members who go by the self-styled appellation as G27 say they are going to press on with a lawsuit, adding that the decision is, or they are unshaken by the decision to expel them from the party. Now, Maureen D went talking to some of these fired militants, and this is what she brought back.
Carlos Ngualem and Barrister Mustafa, both members of the G27 Plus pressure group for the total restoration of the SDF party. They have stated they are not shaken by the decision of NEC that held over the weekend to fire them from the party. They claim they are yet to receive notifications of the resolutions which puts them off the SDF ship.
We have been informed through social media of our eviction from the party. And later on, during a TV show, one of our comrades called to confirm our eviction. And the said comrade participated in the NEC meeting that took apparently the decision. As from now, we have not yet been notified.
They have described the NEC meeting that held over the weekend as illegal, while maintaining there is a disciplinary procedure to follow while applying Article 8.2 on militants who are fighting a just cause.
He has decided to make it clear to the world and to the nation that he is a dictator. Because you say you have violated the articles of association, you have violated the internal regulation, but he is deciding that he will sack us because we have chosen not to act as in the Jibule case.
Despite the exclusion, they insist on pursuing their legal actions.
We will not accept that the party will carry the aspiration, the hopes of Cameroonians is being driven by people who are unable to build something, to put something together. And moreover, can you imagine that you have a NEC meeting on Saturday? We are today on Monday. You cannot see the minutes.
It should be noted the NEC meeting held this weekend, despite threats of boycott from close to 30 top officials. The party chairman, Ni John Fundi, is determined to reshape the party to his taste and ideologies.
For that report, we move over to... Well, thanks, Maureen, for that report. We move over to Buea, southwest region of Cameroon, where at least 24 persons were injured following the separatist explosion of an improvised device in Buea on the road course. The device was placed on the race course of the athletes as athletes took off for the Mount Cameroon Race of Hope last Saturday. The victims of the explosions are at the emergency care unit of the Buea Regional Hospital. Our southwest chief correspondent is Ines Ondwabala.
It is here at the Boya Regional Hospital Annex that victims of the two explosions of improvised devices of February 25th are receiving medical attention.
Okay, presently we have just about 6 of the victims in the hospital faring quite well. By tomorrow we'll be releasing some few more. Everybody is stable, and we are grateful to the population for their support. And they've always been there to help us even when we're getting the patients to the hospital.
There are presently 6 victims under intensive care at this emergency unit.
We want to assure you that everything has been catered for. We've received strict instructions from the Ministries of Public Health through the Governor of the Southwest Region to give them free and optimal care. And that is what we are doing right up to follow up. So we are glad that everybody is stable and keeping well, and some of them are very much better and they've been discharged. Out of the 23, just about 6 are in the hospital still, and tomorrow we are going to be discharging about 3 more. So we'll be left just with 3 for some few more days. So we are grateful to the administration as well as the population of Korea for the support they've given us in order to go through with these difficult times very easily. Well, we had more of panic than injury. We had a lot of mild injuries, some few that we could see, but I think generally most of them, more than 50% of them, were discharged on the same day. So I think it's something that we are grateful for. It was mild, but it could have been worse.
Amongst the 24 victims, all civilians, there are 2 athletes and 3 children, with the youngest one being 1 year, 6 months. Officials of the hospitals have classified the injuries as 1st degree and 2nd degree burns. It is worth noting that this incident occurred during the 50th edition of Mount Cameroon Race of Hope. The first explosion took place at Biaka Junction at 7:06, and the second happened at Bonduma Gate 10 minutes after the first explosive improvised device.
Ndwabala reporting there from Southwest Regional Bureau Office. Thanks very much, Ines. 2 persons have perished and many others seriously injured following an accident that occurred along the Bamayo-Sakmelima road axis. From reports, excess speed is responsible for the accident that occurred at the locality of Dik. Details with Beatrice Ngamo.
The first victim of the accident is the driver of this interurban minibus that had 20 passengers on board. He gave up the ghost few minutes after the incident at the Marmayo Hospital. The other, a 26-year-old lady who was with 2 children, burned once the car was consumed by fire. The incident involved some 3 cars, a minibus, a Carina transporting fuel, and a black Prado, rented from a car company in Yaoundé. The author of the accident, according to the eyewitness account, the black Prado on high speed, lost control, collided with the minibus who in turn forced herself on the Carina with fuel. Fire erupted, and the swift actions were not able to save the driver and 1 passenger. In all, 2 lives perished, while some 22 persons were injured. The serious cases were transported to Yaoundé for medical attention, while the less serious cases were sent to the Marmayo District Hospital. Our team reached out to the SD of the Nyonganso Division, Ledu Ngama, on phone, who confirmed the information, adding, the Black Prado even overtook a minister's convoy before ending course in this disastrous manner few minutes later at the Dik locality, precisely at the place called 3 Beds, some few kilometers from Bamayo on the Bamayo-Sakmelima highway. Saturday evening, and the next day, the family of the lady who was burned came to the site of the accident, collected the remains, and there, it was put into a coffin, mass was done at the site, and the remain was laid to rest.
And members of the unit to combat and instilled a new behavioral paradigm in the Ministry of Higher Education have taken up functions. Commissioning the team this day, Higher Education Minister Professor Jacques Famdongo told the new team that this is a very big governance challenge for them. Once more, Beatrice Nkamu.
It is to give the fight against corruption a new and clear vision in the Ministry of Higher Education that the unit in charge has been restructured with a new name, the Central Unit for the Fight Against Corruption and Promotion of Ethics. The members who championed the cause alongside those of the support committee were commissioned into their function this day by the Minister of Higher Education.
Respect of national emblems which are the foundation of citizenship. Respect for common rules, probity, and therefore respect and application of laws and regulations. The
combat should therefore be priority action to contain the cankerworm present in our society.
Corruption, embezzlement of public funds, influence peddling, harassment in all its forms, trading in laws, depravity of morals in particular.
Placed under the supervision of the minister.
Fight this epidemic problem that we have in all the sector of the state. We will do our best to give a good answer to this mission.
Protecting teachers, support staff and students, top, as the team says, they are set to work with CUNAC, NGOs, organs in charge of judicial proceedings in a strategic but discreet manner to make the Ministry of Higher Education a corrupt-free sector.
And that was it for the 6:15 news with me, Kejang Henry at Timbe, in which you got information that some of the victims of the Buya explosion have been discharged from hospital, with the others still very much unstable condition. Thanks very much for being there. Mark Lionel Chwamo is coming up with the brief. From all of us, it's goodbye.